knowledge argument, you don't really need to get into the far-fetched details of Mary and stuff. You just, here's the essential point. A neuroscientist, a congenitally blind neuroscientist will never know what it's like to see colors through reading neuroscience. And that seems to me an incredibly strong premise. And it's so that.
Can I just ask a quick question about that? Because that's a kind of unusual way of putting the knowledge argument, I think, or at least it's a central point. So for someone like me, my view on the knowledge argument is that Mary could make the relevant deductions inside her room as long as she had the relevant concept. So I think it's kind of cheating to say that she needs to be able to know what red is without having the phenomenal concept of red. I mean, no one would do that with the other stuff. So if she didn't know what water was, had never had the concept of water, then of course she couldn't deduce that water was H2O. You need the other concept. So in the case of consciousness, we need the relevant phenomenal concepts to know what we're talking about, how to make the deductions. And that requires that she has seen red, but it still is compatible with the claim that there's these a priori deductions, because acquiring the concept allows her to connect the two, but doesn't play any justificatory role in the deduction that's being made. Right. So it just seems to me kind of unfair to say, well, the blind neuroscientist who has no concept about the phenomenal qualities, that's in the phenomenal sense at least, of course that person couldn't know, because that's just asking them to make to know something that they don't have the concept of. So I just wonder why that's not an overly austere way of thinking about what the knowledge argument is trying to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we'd have to talk about Mariana. You know Mariana, who's Anita Rumeland's, who's in the black and white room. Oh, she gets color chips, right? So she gets the experiences, and so she gets the concept of experiences. But then the thought is she still wouldn't know which of those color chips is the color of the sky or which is the color of tomatoes. But
right.
then,
well, I deny that. I don't think there's any way that would be what happened. I mean, there's just an intuition loggerheads maybe, but certainly she'd be able to tell that the red color chip is more like the orange one than it is like the blue one. And then I think the relevant brain states are going to line up in something like that. This is, by the work, some of the work that's come out of Adam Poutz's work recently, that there's, the neural responses to these things form a kind of family, or in a way that tracks what the properties are more than the external properties, like the reflectance properties. And so I just think that, yeah, the brain state that is the redness is going to be more similar to the brain state for orangeness than it is the blueness. And that's going to be a kind of bridging thing that's going to allow her to connect. I mean, I just don't see why that wouldn't work in principle.